Hello and welcome to the Dogs Code podcast. It's a show about Dachshunds, their quirky ways, and some golden nuggets for owners. Along the way, I'll be sharing my experience as well. So I'm your host, Katie Saywell. I hope you enjoy the show. Hey, welcome to the Dogs Code podcast. I'm your host, Katie Saywell, and I'm also the owner and founder of the Dogs Code. So, the Dogs Code is a training and coaching company, and we specialise in Dachshunds and the training and behaviour of Dachshunds. We also help coach owners along their way, along their journey with their Dachshunds, with the challenges that they face from puppies to adults and including rescues. So we work alongside Dachshund Rescue UK as well. So what do? We help owners that are stressed, embarrassed, lack confidence, feel out of control with their Dachshunds. The Dogs Code is an award-winning business, and we are UK leading in Dachshund training and behaviour. We help Dachshund owners worldwide. All of the work that we do is remote, so you can be in the comfort of your own living room learning and helping your dogs to learn new skills. So we give owners the tools and techniques to be able to improve their relationship with their Dachshund. Some of you may know I am an ex-police officer. So as an ex-police, I've been out of the police now for 2 years. The business has been going around about 4 years, and I was really unhappy in what I did before. I'd got to the point where, it was exciting to go to work at one point, and then suddenly it wasn't really that exciting to go. I did suffer with anxiety, and I was also bullied within the police service as well. And I started to look for a route out. Now, that's not the kind of culture that I want to be in or create. So the Dogs Code ethos is be kind. So be kind to yourself. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself to have this perfect dog, this dog that doesn't bark, this dog that is something that actually they're not, because their personality is something different. If you're wanting a quiet dog and you've got a boisterous personality, the two are not compatible. It's not to say that we can't calm them down, but we have to be realistic in what we're asking our dogs to do and asking our dogs to be behaving like. So I left the police, and I've never looked back, to be honest. I've got literally the best job in the world. I work with owners who want to see change. I work with Dachshunds who need to have potentially some boundaries and some lower expectations within their lives, and we get fantastic results. So we work with people all over the world, and the remote ability allows us to do that. So we can literally have people from anywhere, in their own living rooms, working with us. No stress for you, no stress for your dogs, no other dogs that you're trying to keep your dog away from because you're in a training environment. And you are the one that is delivering the training. You are the one that is being given the skills, the tools, the techniques to use, and then you can implement them. So we have a 5-step methodology that we work through for the majority of our programs. Now, I'm not going to go into that now, but ultimately we have a process that we follow, that it works. And feel free to do a bit of searching about us. So you'll find us on YouTube, you'll find us on Instagram, you'll find us on Facebook, you'll find us on Google. And ultimately, what we want to do is encourage kindness within the dog training world. Now, I know that people are not going to agree with everything that I say, and you know what? That's okay. I'm not expecting people to, because people are still stuck in an older time of dog training where we used commands, we used force, we used what I would now call aversive training. Now, what that means is that we're using an element of correction, pain, or force to get our dogs to do something when they might not really want to do it, but they're doing it because they're then worried of the consequence if they don't. What the Dogs Code is all about is fairness and kindness. So if it doesn't look kind, feel kind, or sound kind, then it's probably not, so we don't use it. But it's not just about being kind to our dogs, it's about being kind to yourself and being kind to one another. So whether that's your family, your friends, or the folk that are having a conversation with you on Facebook. Now, what I'm not saying is that people aren't entitled to opinions, because of course everybody is entitled to free speech and opinions. That is fine. But if it's a case of, well, I only want to use aversive methods, then we're not going to be a good fit, because that's not what we do. What we do is raise awareness, and we educate owners into building a bond and creating best friends through positive training. And the best friends is between you and your Dachshund. So most of you know that I own a miniature black and tan called Chipolata, Chip for short, Chipinski, Chipperuna, Chipper, whatever, whatever gets shouted out of my mouth sometimes, depending what she's up to. She can be a scamp. So the sayings that I have of a silent sausage is a suspicious one, it didn't come from nowhere. It came from Chip being silent, disappearing off out of the room. You're wondering where she's going, and she's up to mischief when you go and find her. Now, a lot of the work that we do with owners is about confidence in dogs, confidence in themselves. It's around helping you to understand what your dog's doing and why they're doing it. And more importantly, how to actually get them to do something else. So everything we do, it is positive, it is force-free, and it is backed by science. So we don't look at correcting, we look at giving our dogs choices. Now, that is pretty much it about what we do. We are award-winning. Award-winning, UK's leading. I've actually co-authored a book which was a best-selling called Remote Working 2. So there's a chapter within that book that I wrote, and that's around helping your dogs to settle. Something that we miss quite a bit, and then we get frustrated as owners because our dogs aren't settling when we're trying to work on our laptops. But hopefully I'll be demystifying dog training and behaviour for you, and we'll be bringing individuals on and experts in fields to have interviews with myself to give you an insight, for you to have some golden nuggets to take away from. And it's really about giving you that insight as well. So there's lots of owners I know that are feeling like failures from the surveys that we've put out, from the information that we've collated over the last few years. I know that lots of Dachshund owners feel like they've failed their dogs. They feel isolated, they feel alone. And the podcast is really to say, you guys aren't alone. You're not alone. There is help available. You just need to reach out. Okay. And what I would say is that I wish that the Dogs Code was available to me when Chipolata was a young puppy, because that's when I really needed the support. I needed help with the challenges that I was facing. The lack of sleep, the toilet training, and just the things that some people just take for granted. And you'll see lots of people with other breeds of dogs that it seems like it's a breeze for them. And yeah, it may well be. They may not be always as truthful as we might want them to be, but Dachshunds are different. They are quirky. They have their own way of doing things, and the Dogs Code is here to support yourself and your Dachshund or Dachshunds. Yeah, so that's a little bit about us. As we go through the podcasts, like I say, it is my first podcast, so please be kind to me. please give me some credit that it is my first podcast, but they will get better as they go along, and we will be bringing different people on. If there's anything that you'd like to ask, then feel free to. But that is all for today. Thanks for listening. So that's all for today. If you need anything, please reach out. You can reach out via the website, so www.thedogscode.com. We're on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube under The Dogs Code. And if you've enjoyed the podcast, then please leave a review. Feel free to share the podcast if there's someone that you know that will find it helpful for them. And if you want to message me through the podcast, you can just leave a comment below and I will be sure to get back to you. So until next time, it's been an absolute pleasure. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you then. Bye for now.